What up, folks? Just wanted to take this time to kind of share some of the reflections that I've been having, or the thought behind, and within the reflections that I've been having lately. I've been digging a little bit more into myself and spending time in the Word, and so just wanted to kind of share those things. So the reflection that I've been really thinking about and going on is just a little bit deeper into what I explained last time in this previous video, with regard to me being sociable and all that sort of stuff. And I begin to discover and find that a lot of the, I guess, belief in which I act out the way I live is comes from a place of feeling threatened, right? And I think a lot of that stemmed way back when I think it was probably middle school. I went to a bunch of different middle schools, right? And I think I went to like maybe 4 or 5 different ones. But generally I was a new person there, didn't really know too many people. And just like every child or every parent raise their child, it kind of teach you stranger danger, right? And so you immediately begin to assess people as a threat, right? And not to say that my mother raised me that way, she sure didn't. My family didn't raise me that way or anything like that, but because I was in new environments pretty often, that's kind of the mentality I begin to accept, right? And the truth that I begin to believe, that like these people around me are threats until I become comfortable and know you. So I was always observant first, and then would open up potentially later as I got to know you more and got more comfortable. And that was just for comfortable with the people that were in my space and around me all the time and often, and actually sought to engage relationships with me. And I think that kind of grew even deeper and stronger when I got in high school, right? In high school, of course, as young boys or kids, especially playing sports and on a football team, everybody strives to be that tough guy, that strong, that hardest guy, and all that sort of stuff. And so for me, I feel like that mentality was perpetuated in high school, where it was the case that, you know, you had your own clique of people that you hung with, but there were other folks that you didn't necessarily associate with or didn't know. And those people that you didn't know were considered threats, especially a lot of those folks who came from rougher areas and neighborhoods and who did, you know, some dirty things and all that sort of stuff. And it's natural to kind of put those people at, you know, a distance to kind of keep them away from you. But I feel like for me, that was my mentality. I mean, for example, like in high school, just the way we were and the way we lived, it was like you knew your people who you knew, and you adapt those people up, right? Like, so even if somebody that you knew was hanging with somebody you didn't know, you would go dap. Even they could be standing right next to each other. You would dap the person up who you knew, wouldn't even look at or say anything to the person that they're standing next to because you didn't know them. And that was just cool, common, and accepted. Nobody necessarily took it as like no disrespect, but at the same time, looking back on that as an adult, that is kind of like disrespectful. That's messed up. I ain't not gonna say nothing to Bull, who was sitting right there. But like, I feel like that's kind of where it really grew and solidified for me. Was where I adapted that mentality of like, everybody's a threat. It was definitely further exposed when I went to college, because I noticed that like everybody else all was cool and knew each other in college and all of that, and I was on a football team, and like the football team has a certain level of popularity, and they kind of give you a certain level of space to take up, but it's just like everybody was all cool and knew each other outside of, you know, with black folks outside of the football team. I didn't really know too many other people besides my teammates, because I didn't necessarily engage in relationships and activities with people outside the team. And then I don't know, I really begin to see that, like, reflecting myself. And then I would be walking around on campus, see other people staring at me dead in my face, look back at them and say nothing. It's kind of crazy, like, would say nothing and just would like keep on going about my day. That's because just the environment that I grew up in and is how we were. But I said all of that to say that, like, today as an adult, I still somewhat struggle with that mentality, and am thankful to God that I'm kind of recognizing that, seeing that, and getting to the roots and solutions of it. Because today I feel like I'm in a completely different space, right? I guess to some extent, the mentality of feeling threatened by people still persisted, and so that kind of hampered who I began to talk to and socialize with, right? that impacted my level of my level of being sociable. So as I go out to different places, I don't necessarily think to talk to people or say what's up. I'm not the most outgoing and all of that. So I'm off to the side, but observant to myself and all of that. And it's kind of, to me, a sort of like withdrawn spirit, you know what I mean? Not necessarily involved and engaged with everybody and having a good time, but more importantly, not really giving myself the space and freedom to be fully myself, right? And so for me, like, begin to recognize that, like, especially as I continue to grow into being who I am, fully and freely me, and all that I have to offer, right? Like, I feel like I've done enough work on myself, within myself, for my family, for me to get rid of this mentality of stranger danger, everybody's a threat. And I say that because, like, I give big energy into continually learning different things, being more intelligent about stuff, being intentional about stuff. My relationships, I treat people differently, right? I have a good job. I have certain level of finances. I do certain things for the community. I give super hard. I love super hard, and all of those sorts of things, right? Like, so that, like, I don't have to feel threatened by anybody, right? Like, to be completely honest, I am one of a kind. These dudes cannot see me, like, on any level. Not to necessarily say, like, in a hostile way, but, like, I am one of a kind and different and extremely valuable. So I can walk in that power and that confidence that, like, I have much to give to this world, and I'm one of a kind. Can't nobody else see me. You know what I mean? I can walk in that confidence and then be able to step into a room and look at the next dude and not necessarily feel threatened, be like, yo, what's going on, bro? Like, I respect you and all who you are and all that you got going on. And I don't necessarily have to feel threatened by you. Now, and that feeling threatened is not necessarily just a, like, physical thing, but I think where that existed, it was more so like a mental thing. Like, because everybody in their mind, to some extent, lives in this world to maneuver and find and maintain a bit of self-preservation. And that was my mentality, self-preservation at all costs. So that means that I got to stay withdrawn, and I'm going to be withdrawn. But I don't have to do that, right? Like, and so this is me kind of realizing myself and knowing who I am, understanding my value, understanding my worth, and really understanding that, like, I have a lot that I could stand on and being confident because of what I give, not necessarily because of what I have and what I maintain, right? Like, granted, I have a nice job, nice car, make good money for myself, I do all of these wonderful things, but, like, I also give so much, and I'm significantly different than all of these other dudes, so I no longer have to live in this space of feeling threatened by people. I can walk into a room and be sociable. I can walk into a room in a confidence and power of who I am and make everybody in that room turn heads and look at me, because not necessarily for a specific reason or purpose, that's just walking in my confidence and my power that I have. I can do that. And so that's kind of the things that I've been thinking about and realizing lately. Is just like, yo, I don't have to be threatened by any of these dudes. They can't see me. They're not on my level. Nobody's on my level. I am one of a kind, and I'm that dude. And I don't even mean it to say, like, sound really cocky, but at the same time I do. Like, I'm that dude. I can, because of what I've done, who I am, what God showed me who I am, with the level I give with, the level I love with, I'm that dude. And going forward, I'm gonna walk forward in that power. Just like, I don't have to feel threatened in the room. I can speak up, and not to say that I'm gonna walk in the room being cocky and all in people's face, flaunting what I have. But when I say walking in power, I really mean, like, I can step into a room and own that room with my energy without ever speaking a word, just by being open to people, talking to people, speaking to people, saying what's up, engaging in conversation, loving on people, and all of those sorts of things, aka being fully and freely who I am. And I don't know, it's a self-reflection I feel like it's very valuable for me going forward, and that I want to live out and stand on 100% anywhere I am and anywhere I go. And I don't know, I'm just grateful, and I thank God for kind of giving me the revelation, because I remember when I felt in the time past, I felt like that good guy that everybody always overlooked, or the good guy that nobody respected, the person who always loves and gives and gives and gives, but it always gets a short end of the stick, and everybody overlooks. Those days are gone, that man is dead. I have a lot to offer this world, and I have a lot of value to give, and I'm going to stand on that and walk in my power, and I'm going to be sociable, and I'm going to love on people, I'm going to give to people, I'm going to be walk freely and fully who I am. Reflections. Peace.